Karolina will talk about digits not for the faint of heart, crunching numbers and data analytics. You know what, when we're working in marketing, a lot of the times people think that, hey, well, in marketing it's all fluffy, right? It's all flowers and butterflies. We don't look too much into data analytics. But Karolina will actually talk a little bit more about that and how we can use AI for effective marketing strategies. So please give us a round of applause to welcome Karolina on the stage.
Hello. Yeah, hello everybody. Karolina, thank you for this nice introduction. I'm not gonna lie, it has been a while since I made a presentation in English, so I'm feeling a bit anxious. Can you give me another round of applause for that dopamine? Thank you. That's amazing. Now I feel like a star, and it's the end of my presentation, and all is great. My presentation was useful, and you loved it. And now let's get back to the real world. So let's take a quick dip into the chilly waters of the ocean of data analytics. It's a great idea today since it's 32 degrees outside. What if I told you that, oops. Yes. Yeah, so what if I told you that we are all sitting on a tip of an enormous iceberg and we are all blissfully unaware of the gigantic mess beneath us? Yeah, strap on to your life jackets. Every day we generate 2.5 quintillion bytes of data. I don't even know how many zeros are in this number, but we only use 0.5% of this information. It's like having a $1 billion ticket and not cashing it in. Crazy, right? Let's look at this situation through a marketing lens. Imagine creating a marketing campaign without analyzing your data. It's like jumping onto a skateboard for the first time without any protective gear. It's not going to end well, is it? So let me tell you a story. It's 2017 and Kendall Jenner mid-photo shoot gets a sudden urge to join a protest. Who doesn't? She jumps up, grabs a can of Pepsi, gives it to a cop, and just like that, all is great for the world. Well, not quite. Pepsi's idea was to broadcast a global anthem of peace, unity, understanding, and equality. A beautiful idea, right? But it had one massive oversight. Pepsi, through their pop culture tinted glasses, completely skipped over the socio-political beats of the time. If they would have tuned in into the data frequencies, they would have heard the crescendo of conversations around Black Lives Matter and police brutality. But instead, they chose to remix these profound movements into a fizzy drink ad. So the result of this was a global arrow, serious Twitter heat, and the ad critiqued for commercializing serious social issues was off the air within 24 hours. Cue swift apology from Pepsi and a serious lesson learned. Their data DJ completely skipped a beat here, and if they would have scratched the surface of social, political, and cultural data, they would have saved themselves from a serious PR headache. Now, strap in for this one. Imagine a tsunami of data washing over our digital marketing world each and every second. It's like a data explosion. The past 2 years, we've generated 90% of all the world's data, and we only scratch the surface of it. It's like we are standing in the rain and only catching a few drops in our cup. And it makes you wonder about all the missed opportunities. When Netflix was approached to invest in this new series called House of Cards, they didn't just rely on their gut instinct. they turned to their big data because Netflix was already big at the time. They had a big user base and they had a lot of data. So they dove deep into their data and they found out that they actually have a substantial amount of users that really enjoy political dramas, movies starring Kevin Spacey, and films directed by David Fincher. So this combination led them to invest $100 million for 2 seasons of House of Cards. It was a very big investment at the time. But their data use didn't stop at this initial investment. They analyzed their viewers' past data, their past behaviors, and discovered that there are certain segments and decided to make trailers custom for those segments. So for example, if you belong to a group of users that watched a lot of Kevin Spacey movies in the past, you would get a trailer highlighting his involvement in the series. If you watched a lot of films directed by David Fincher, you would get a trailer highlighting his directorial style. So this data analysis allowed Netflix to customize their marketing activities, increasing the chance and likelihood of the success of their marketing campaign and in turn the success of their investment. So while looking over the vast landscape of marketing world, a perplexing question looms. Why aren't everyday marketers like us sitting here in this conference jumping on this data surf? Let's take a moment to think about this meme marketing girly. Why has it gained traction? On the one side of our universe, we have the creative ones, the ones that do TikTok dances, challenges, that paint our marketing town red with their creative campaigns. And it's exciting, it's fun, and it's dancey. And on the other side of our universe, we have the analytical minds, the ones that find solace in columns and rows in Excel and find beauty in the curves of Google Sheets graph. But in fact, these worlds aren't separate, they are intertwined. And a question rises, why we have been compartmentalizing this whole time? And more importantly, how can we connect these two worlds for a more holistic approach to marketing? So let's imagine this, a bridge, which is a path to connecting creativity and the power of data and AI. And our creative marketing girly might look at the other side and think, wow, that looks very, very complex and scary. I don't want to look at these tables and sheets. But here's the kicker. She already has everything she needs to cross it. So let's take a look. Meta ads or Facebook ads, whichever you prefer, she already has it in her toolkit. Google ads, absolutely. Google Analytics, Hotjar, Clarity, TikTok, already in her arsenal. These aren't just creative tools or ad management tools, these are the gateway to data analytics. So to all the creative ones sitting here today, don't be afraid, because your path to data analytics is paved with tools you are already familiar with. But in this journey, we have to befriend a new sidekick called ChatGPT, Code Interpreter. I'm sure that all of you have heard of ChatGPT, but how many of you have used Code Interpreter for your daily marketing activities? Please raise your hands. Okay, so we have a few early adopters. But for those of you who are wondering what it is, I believe the technical explanation is that it's Python sandbox, is that correct, Linkedist? Yeah, but I'm a marketer, I don't know what it means. So for all of you still wondering what it is, think of it as a backstage tech crew. It is basically a feature of the original ChatGPT. If you have a premium account, you can simply access it through your settings. I didn't put any screenshot of how it looks because it looks exactly the same as the original chat box, except it has this one plus icon. By clicking it, you can upload your CSV, Excel, or PDF files, and it can then analyze your data, provide you with insights, and dive deep into your numbers without you diving deep into the code. So it's basically a translator, but just for your data. And now, meet your new data analyst, ChatGPT Code Interpreter. I will be sharing some real-life case studies that we in our agency, APG Media, did with our clients. I will be sharing the prompts that we crystallized through the rinse and repeat process. Feel free to take pictures if you find them useful, but I know that Linkedist team is planning to share these slides after our conference, so I guess your phone can stay in your pocket. So the first case study is for first-party data analytics. What we did, we uploaded data from one of our e-commerce shops. It was first-party customer data like customer ID, product name, transaction value, what else? Discount codes and discount value. And we used this prompt to get purchase trends over time so we could see where we are winning and where we need to focus. And this is what ChatGPT Code Interpreter produced. It's actually a very, very small snapshot of what it did because it produced with that previous prompt a lot of tables, a lot of charts and other visualizations, which you can also customize by just stating in the chat box what colors you wanted to use or color codes, and it also provided explanations and insights from those visualizations. Again, this is a very small snapshot of what it provided, and it's a bit redacted because, you know, data privacy, but I think it's enough to get a clear picture. So what it did, it gave us a product performance chart so we could see what products are winning and which might need a little bit more of a promotional push. You know, those discounts that so many businesses love to offer, well, if you give the data about your discounts, it can quickly evaluate if those discounts are actually hurting or helping your bottom line. If you were wondering where your revenue is coming from, it can provide you with your revenue concentration analysis, and it can also calculate periods or time between the first and second purchase, so you can again customize your marketing plan accordingly and support clients through their journey and push them towards that second and third purchase. Okay, let's move on to third-party data. Now the fun begins. So if you want to get hands-on without getting your hands dirty, provide ChatGPT Code Interpreter with your customer demographics and Google Attributes data. Google Attributes are like those affiliate attributes that state that, for example, your customer is very interested in, I don't know, watching books, spending time outside, those like broad interest categories. You can access this information in your G4 account under Reports and Audience sections and just simply export CSV or Excel files. So yeah, you put everything into ChatGPT Code Interpreter, and it's like asking a master sculptor to make a statue, but in this case, our image of a statue is completely clear. It's data-driven client profile. But why stop at this one point of view? You can ask ChatGPT to compare your all website visitors to your best converters. So that's what we did in this case. We exported two data sets. We did this filtering part in G4, and we provided ChatGPT with session metrics and conversion metrics. So yeah, ChatGPT compared these two audiences, and here's a question. Are they the same or are they similar? Or are they different? Are you targeting and spending all this money to target the right audience, or are you simply shooting arrows in the dark? here's the answer for our client. In this case, you can very clearly see that the correlation between data in some cases is completely reversed than in the other audience. For example, the all website visitors audience looks way younger, and when we look at the best converters at the end of these columns, they are way older. So again, we have to fix and adapt our marketing plans. But what if I told you that we can push the boundaries even more? Imagine not just understanding your audience, but completely embodying your ideal clients. The ones that not only engage, but purchase and become your loyal customers. What makes them tick? What is their story? Well, you can use this prompt to ask ChatGPT to define this ideal client for you based on your previous data. And what it did not only provide this like vague description that you can usually see from various tools, but it was a laser-focused picture with demographics, interests, browsing behaviors, and purchasing patterns. And here's the result. It turns out that our ideal clients are female, between ages 25 to 34, and it even gave her a name. So now she's called Digital Savvy Diana. You can read through all of these details. The interesting part here is that when we started working with this client together, we thought that our main target audience will be male-dominated because their service is long-term car rental. Well, we worked for a while together, and then we did this exercise, and it turns out that we kind of missed the mark a little bit, but it's great because now we know what we are working with, and we can adjust again our marketing activities accordingly. I actually advise all the marketers sitting here today to do this exercise at least yearly with each of their clients, maybe even more often, because in the markets that are changing faster than TikTok trends, today's targeting audience might be tomorrow's old news. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever wanted to meet your ideal customer face-to-face?
Yes.
Okay, nice. So now it is completely possible. You just need to take this description generated by ChatGPT, which was inspired by your data, and put it in any image generative AI like Midjourney or Stable Diffusion or any other. And it will generate you an image of your ideal customer. So ladies and gentlemen, please roll out the red carpet and meet our ideal client, Digital Savvy Diana. Not just on paper, but in pixels. Round of applause for Diana. Okay, so now we have our ideal client in sharp focus. Why not let ChatGPT craft your strategy based again on this data that we just provided? Serve up some essentials like your desired budget or country specifics, and watch how it creates customized looks for each and every channel. Because why stop at introductions when we can have a full-fledged marketing fiesta crafted specifically for our Digital Savvy Diana? So here's the result, and it's remarkably similar to the one that our experts with more than 8 and 10 years in the industry provided. The lesson here is twofold. For the juniors sitting here among us, you can access the knowledge of a senior marketer in a matter of minutes. For the seniors here, again, this is a very useful exercise working with any client, making any strategical activity. You can just simply double check if you're not missing something because maybe you are not very familiar with the market, or maybe you just simply don't know all the channels, all the tools. So don't worry, ChatGPT has got your back, and it will help you fill in those gaps. Okay, so we have our ideal client, we have our strategy, we've launched the campaigns. The next challenge is optimizing them. So you can upload information from reports from Facebook ads, Google ads, and LinkedIn, and of course other marketing channels to ChatGPT code interpreter, and ask it to analyze it on campaign, ad set, or ad level. I actually recommend you doing it at all three levels. The trick here is to clearly specify what are your goals. Because some businesses focus on awareness and they maybe focus more on impressions and traffic metrics, and other businesses are more focused on the bottom funnel and they pay attention to purchases and ROAS. So in this case, we asked ChatGPT to optimize the campaigns in a way that we would increase our ROAS, and of course, who doesn't love cheaper traffic? So as well, we asked for that. And again, here's a snapshot of the result. I kind of redacted it a bit, but what we got a list of campaigns that is suggested to pause because they weren't performing well. We've got a list of campaigns that it suggested to decrease the budget or increase the budget because it had a potential to scale. And we actually implemented these advices in the real world, and these are the results. I only put two cases because, well, you wouldn't be able to see the numbers. But in one case, the ROAS increased by 25%, more than 25%. In other case, the ROAS increased by more than 55%. Yeah, the decrease in cost per click wasn't that big, but I guess we all understand that quality traffic, quality audiences cost more, so it's fine as long as we get these huge gains in ROAS department. Now let's turn our ship back a bit. Do you remember a Pepsi misfire that we just talked about? Well, it wasn't just a marketing blip. It was a complete oversight of political and cultural issues. And cultural insights aren't just a nice to have. They are crucial for every business that is looking to make waves in new waters. So imagine you want to dance in the Lithuanian market, bring the new brand in here, and I guess the traditional way to go would be to hire a local agency or a local expert, or I don't know, spend a lot of time doing the research yourself. Now you can copy and paste this prompt and spend a minute with ChatGPT, and it will generate the result on the right. And I would say it's spot on. I asked what are the cultural nuances in Lithuania, what topics to avoid while introducing a new brand. And yeah, this list I think is very concise and you have everything you need. Would you agree? If you have read the list. Okay, and then I decided to challenge ChatGPT a little bit more. I don't know if you know and remember this ad campaign that kind of stirred a pot in our small Lithuanian market maybe a month ago. It's about this Lithuanian ice cream brand. So to those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, basically one popular Lithuanian influencer was participating in this ad when he comes up to two girls sitting in a beach eating ice cream, and he suggests to switch his trunks to get that lollipop, that ice cream. And the girls agree, and the ad ends with him walking away, happily eating the ice cream without any bottoms. And again, ChatGPT was spot on. What a surprise! It quickly pointed out that this kind of ad would definitely get some chilly reactions in our Lithuanian market. I don't know if that was the aim of the creative team behind this ad. It might have been. But if you don't want that negative publicity, that negative chatter around your ad, you can easily spend one time with ChatGPT and figure out if the message fits your market, even though you don't have any knowledge about that specific market. And let's talk about cookies. Since we are inches away from cookies disappearing from our world, let's not sugarcoat it. With the cookies, some of our most favorite data sources might disappear too, and in turn, some of our favorite digital marketing features. But here's a silver lining. With tools like ChatGPT, probably we are not going to face an apocalypse. It might be a day of evolution. Because as I showed in this presentation, and it just was a brief snapshot of everything you can do, and in this case, the sky and your creativity is a limit, but even simple daily marketers as me can dive deep into the first-party data and third-party data, find patterns that weren't visible before, or maybe you have to hire a team of data analysts. So it's 2023, and I think it's time to forget this age-old divide between the creatives and analytics. Because here's the secret sauce. You don't have to be tech-savvy to harness the power of data and AI. It's not at all about tech jargon. Well, in fact, it's all about just speaking plain English. And you don't have to be a code whiz or data nerd. All ChatGPT asks from you is to state clearly in clear sentences what are your goals, what are your needs. So no matter if you are crafting these creative campaigns or crunching the conversion rates, you can harness and use the power of both worlds, creative and analytical. Because at the end of the day, the most important thing is that you understand your story, your goals, and your audience. Thank you.
All right, let's give a round of applause for Karolina. So do we have some questions? Questions, somewhere in the back, somewhere in the front? Yes, one. I know analytics is it's a hard topic, you know, but let's see. Let's see.
Hi, so nice presentation.
Thank you.
I have the question. So by using the code interpreter, you got all those results, numbers, nice numbers, let's say. But I believe you tried validating it. So the question is how accurate they were. Like, I know maybe you tried validating them with already known tools, like what you usually use it for. So how accurate was it?
We didn't use any additional tools. In most of the cases, we just did the calculations ourselves and then double check with what ChatGPT code interpreter produced. In some of the cases that I showed, for example, a strategy, we did this like exercise. We asked the question of ChatGPT code interpreter and then simultaneously gave the same task to our team members and just compared the two outcomes. And in most cases, they were, well, very, very similar.
All right, nice to hear. Thanks.
Any more questions for Karolina? Okay, so thank you once again. Let's give a round of applause. Thank you, Karolina.